It's taken a dark turn. How will our hero survive? Tune in next week as that story rolls on, as it culminates on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania. I am Ross from Cultaholic.com. You're my sexual wank pheasants, and welcome to all of the WTF moments from a very arousing SmackDown Live. So we're kicking off this week with a couple of signs, and a couple of signs that clearly say made a grave mistake, Corey. Thanks, of course, go to Festus Davis and Grant Lyons for spreading the good word of grave mistake throughout the WWE universe. Please join them in joining us. You ain't gonna fool us, suckers! That t-shirt there, well, Vince McMahon always talks about his superstars grabbing the proverbial brass rings, but it's clear for all to see that that t-shirt there has grabbed a pussy there, mind. And speaking of cats, which of course are dogs that are under 50 pounds, rendering them completely pointless, cat. Now, of course, it's a WTF moment because that man there does not look like a cat to me, boy. He doesn't look like he's been jumping around all nibbly-bibbly from tree to tree. I don't see him drinking milk from a saucer. And finally, I don't see him eating any mice, so why on earth is he holding a sign that says cat? Probably, if you didn't get it by all those reckless references. Because the cast of Super Trooper were in the crowd, do I make myself clear? Meow. Made a grave mistake, Corey. So my bear, my spirit animal, and my foe in the quest for the big dog's love, Rusev was laying the smackers down all over the candy arse of AJ Styles. He delivers a spine buster that Arn, Carl, all of the Andersons would be jealous of, yet Corey Graves has the goal to question, could it be Rusev Day? Corey Graves seems to think the concept that is Rusev Day is based on wins and losses, when as we all know, there are three things that are certain in life: death, Maggle Cole screaming, the big dog, whenever Roman Reigns appears at the top of the ramp on a WWE show, and the fact that Rusev Day is happening. Happy Rusev Day, because there are many more happy Rusev Days to come. Now, I know he has pipes for days, but my bay and spirit animal Rusev needs to sever ties with that lemony snicket looking bell end Aiden English. Whether it's singing heelish lyrics towards the crowd he's in or interfering in great matches like he was last night, Aiden English continues to ruin Rusev Day. Without that prick, there's no doubt about it, Rusev would be full babyface in WWE, but for some reason Aiden English isn't playing ball. Get rid of him if he isn't going to be wholesome Rusev, and allow that eagle that is Rusev and babyface form to fly away with the eagle's nest that is the babyface ranks on SmackDown Live. So while hyping up the Asuka vs Charlotte match at WrestleMania, Byron Saxton asks, will Asuka come to SmackDown Live for the first time ever as a special guest? I should sincerely hope so, Byron, given the fact that that picture there was shown twice on SmackDown Live up until that point. We can't even deal with Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar on Raw being advertised for shows and then being pulled from those shows, so don't allow that poison, which is the way you have to say that word because Vince McMahon says so, to drift over to SmackDown Live onto Asuka, who is as pure as the driven snow. And speaking about Asuka's debut, it's time for this. Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank. Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank. Welcome to Wankety Wank, the section of WTF moments where, just like blankety blank, where you fill in the blanks, a sexual wank pheasant fills in my blanks by tweeting me a WTF moment that I missed while watching a WWE show. Now, for the first time ever on Wankety Wank, we have a double shafted ting with Azo Smith. Firstly, pointing out that last night was not Asuka's debut on SmackDown Live. He points out that she was part of the Raw invasion on SmackDown Live just before Survivor Series 2017. And then Samuel Colagrosso points out that Asuka's ties with the blue brand run deep because she was on some house shows in 2016. Knowledge is power! Now, there's no doubt about it, if Paigey Wagey was watching last night's SmackDown Live, she would have been saying, Charlotte, what are you doing? Charlotte claimed that Asuka has defeated every single opponent she has faced, which is absolutely not true because, as we all know, Eve Marie came out on top of her in that Battle Royal in 2016 thanks to the help of the spirit of Michael Jackson. This, of course, is something I never want you to forget because it's just fantastic. Shamon. So they aired a promo from Raw, including sound bites from Ronda Rousey, where she talked about her being in WWE being a moment nobody thought they could expect, and the fact that she is here. Really? I must have missed you last night, pal, unless of course you take the form of several thousand Snickers bars these days. You just enjoyed doing that promotional work, Ronda, appearing with Ellen DeGeneration X. And what not, instead of getting down to the nitty-gritty inside the ring, earning the respect of your peers and the WWE Universe alike, which you crave so much. Snickers satisfies, unless of course they're being given out as a consolation prize when Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar do not turn up for Raw. This would have been a double kick in the knackers for all of the fans at Raw yesterday, because as we all know, Snickers are as rough as a badger's arse. When it comes to nutty produce, there's only one nutty produce we want, and that's these nuts. Got him! Got him! So according to Tom Phillips, Bobby Roode put down Randy Orton because that glorious bastard knew that on Sunday his road to WrestleMania was closed. I'm sorry, but if you're not picking up the fact that they're going with a triple threat match for the United States Championship at WrestleMania by now, you are beyond all help and deserve to die. I don't mean that, of course, but how way, man, could it be any more obvious? Chandler and LeBong. Do you want a medal like? Bobby Roode made a massive old boo-boo when he claimed that he's going to retain the United States Championship on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania. How do you retain something you don't own? Quite frankly, you can't. Just like you can't eat your own head. Now, I googled extreme grinders and I was left severely disappointed. Firstly, it wasn't a service that provided a little kinky bastard to grind all over your ass. Second of all, it wasn't a group of elite Tony Hawk pro skater gamers either. Unfortunately, and what a letdown this is, it was merely a company who provides those grinders for the sweet Mary Jane before you put them in debong. This is a moment that is tinged with irony, of course, because I'm sure this week of all weeks, Adam Pacitti has been their most relentless customer. Smoke weed every day. Jinder, when they give you that bit of paper backstage with your promo on, please check it and make sure it makes sense, because they're making you look like an absolute Burke. Believe me when I say this, those saggy nips of yours do that job well enough as it is. You saying that Bobby Roode winning the United States Championship before Randy Orton, despite the fact that that glorious bastard has only been in WWE for a cup of coffee, would make sense. That would be if Randy Orton hadn't been challenging for bigger and better belts for the best part of 14 bloody years. Numpty. Slap my arse and call me Betty. I have no idea what to say here, because there was chants of USA, USA, USA during a match between the Canadian Bobby Roode and the Canadian Jinder Mahal. Made a grave mistake, Corey. Again, Corey Grace, please stop with the cool, calm and collected stuff about Randy Orton. He might walk slowly, which is weird because snakes don't normally have legs. But just as I explained the other day in the Fastlane WTF Moments video, his theme quite literally says he has deep-lying mental issues, while as we all know it's been well documented over the course of his career in WWE that he has a fuse shorter than Triple H's little nipple cock. Don't Google China because you'll see porn, but the fabulous Moolah deserves all of this, does she, Ember Moon? I didn't think so. I want to see footage of Ember Moon sitting at a computer googling the fabulous Moolah's name, then coming back and saying what she said in that tweet just there. Now, it's a shame, of course, that WWE are trying to pull the wool over the eyes of their superstars and fans alike, because Moolah, quite frankly, was a putrid person who did more to hold down women's wrestling and women in general during her time. Quite frankly, the name of that match needs to be changed. It needs to be changed now. Carmella, I want to see you at a computer as well googling the fabulous Moolah, because if you did that, you would not be calling yourself the modern day equivalent of that absolute arsehole. You haven't sexually or financially exploited anybody, have you, Carmella? You haven't acted as a pimp during your time, have you, Carmella? I don't think so. Seriously, do yourselves all a favour, get yourself onto Reddit and read that 6,000 word report about all the bad things Moolah did, because you'd be left with no doubt that she was indeed a very bad egg. Tom Phillips, Shane McMahon was not caught in the crossfire on Sunday. He saw somebody else's crossfire that had no concern to him and inserted himself right in the middle of it. He didn't have to be sat at ringside and he didn't have to react to Kevin Owens' kick, because as we all saw, it was quite clearly a mistake. It's a shame that the man who Kevin Owens did kick constantly has sweat in his eyes, which means he's as blind as a bat. Oh my tits, he's taking a leave of absence. Jesus, get in here. It's time for a party. Shabba. Mike Bennett on SmackDown Live, who would have thought it? I have never been aroused while watching wrestling. That was until last night, and that ending, it was so glorious. Wee Willy Winky. It makes the last several months almost worth it. Seeing Shane McMahon dying a painful death on a big red crate. I couldn't have imagined it any more beautiful myself. However, when Shane McMahon was moaning like a cow with foot and mouth right at the end of the show, I couldn't help but think I turned off SmackDown Live and turned on BBC's Blue Planet with Big Dave Attenborough. And that's it for all of the WTF moments from the best episode of SmackDown Live in the history of SmackDown Live. I have been Ross from Cultaholic.com. thank you for being a sexual wank pheasant. Follow me on the Twitter machine at Ross on Wrestling. If you like what we do here at Cultaholic.com, you can go over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. There's tiered rewards, there's gifts, there's goodies, there's all sorts. But most importantly of all, do not forget to join us on every form of social media, apart from a message in a bottle.